what you say. They'll never have a peace treaty. You will always, from the pastor to the last pew, have to deal with your flesh.
Yes.
Look at it like this. If your spirit and your flesh are like two dogs. You've got a dog on your left, let's say that's your spirit, and a dog on your right, let's say that's your flesh. Whichever one you feed is the one that's going to be the strongest. So what happens in the church is that we do a little bit of feeding them. And I'm not talking about feeding in church. You feel what I'm saying? Because the real feeding, don't get me wrong, you get fed at church. But where you do real spiritual maintenance is what you do outside of church.
Talk, sir.
You're fasting, you're reading, you're meditating. That's why a lot of folks are good at shouting, but they have no spiritual power. Because they thought the shouting was going to keep them when that walked in. If I say that walked in.
That walked in.
Y'all know what that is.
Y'all know what it is.
Y'all do that today. Y'all know what that is. When that walks in. You just came out of a revival service. And you just got through shouting. And that walks in. And you say, oh my God. Whichever one you feed. So on the way to purpose, Ruth and Orpah have to make a decision. Orpah says, you know what? This does not look like it's going to go the direction I need it to go. I have desires, I have needs, and I have wants. I'm going to go back to what I am familiar with. I've been walking with Naomi for a long time. I've been rolling with the family for a long time. I've developed a relationship with her, with them. But because now I've come to that place in the road where my desire and my future outlook seems to dominate everything I can see now, she says, I'm going back to where I'm comfortable.
Wow.
Naomi makes a decision. She says, I'm not going to, we hear this at the weddings all the time.
Right.
Treat me not to leave you, for where you go, I'll go. Your God will be my God. Your people will be my people. She makes the decision that while it may be difficult on the road ahead, while I don't know what the future holds, I know enough about purpose that I'm going to stay connected to it. In your singleness, you will always, multiple times, come to that road, that fork in the road, that either you're going to go back to what you're comfortable with, or you're going to stay connected to purpose. You know where singles get in trouble? We spend more time trying to find somebody than evaluating our priorities.
Come on.
We spend more time trying to go to singles dinners, singles dances, Christian mingle. What is a Christian mingle? I don't want to say that some of y'all might have a profile, right? I'm not
Bless us.
You got 20 hits. Bless you. Like, yes, Lord. But what else? We spend more time. You know how I know I'm always in the right order? Everybody looks down when I say something. Oh, Jesus. When we understand and realize that it's more than just trying to attract, but we have to make a decision. In your singleness, you constantly, just like with the children of Israel. You know what the children of Israel's issue was? They never got Egypt out of their mind. They had a promise in front of them. They had a valuable opportunity. They had purpose in front of them. But every time it got difficult, they thought about Egypt. They thought about the past. And every time along, that's what caused them, instead of accessing a Kadesh Barnea, instead of accessing the promise in 3 days, they ended up wandering for 40 years. You know why? Because when your priorities are wrong, it'll always take you longer to get what you should have immediately.
Talk.
I don't want, it's too early to go there this morning, but I'll just say that maybe in our singleness, we're single longer than we should be because we haven't evaluated our priorities. Because you still got an Egypt mentality.
Talk about it.
When you should have a promised land focus.
Yes. Say that again.
You know what? And I'm just thinking, and I just, if I get to ramble, just let me know. I just be thinking as I'm going. But when in 1 Samuel 16, thank you. Remember when Samuel comes to Jesse's house to anoint David? You know what's really, really interesting to me is that, and it's again, RelationSLIPS. I know it's a single, but let's think about it in different facets and different degrees. Samuel comes to Jesse's house. Now, in 1 Samuel chapter 16, verse 1, the Bible shows up, God shows up in the Bible there in the first verse and says, how long are you going to mourn over Saul?
Right.
And I rejected him. I rejected him. He's not your purpose. I know you spent a lot of time pouring into him. I know you've trained him, but guess what? You spent a lot of time with him, but he ain't my guy. Now, you don't put a lot of your time. So when we come to 1 Samuel 16:1, the Bible says that Samuel's almost in like a little small depression. Because he's like, Lord, I spent all this time investing in this relationship, and you're telling me now you've rejected him.
What?
And God says, man, how long are you going to mourn? He doesn't say it's wrong to mourn. He just says, how long are you going to do?
Wow.
You're crying too long. Your relationship been over.
Wow. Come on.
You've been crying for 10 years.
Ooh-wee.
I rejected that a long time ago. But watch this. He gets to Jesse's house. And that's, man, I'm going to use that Sunday. He gets to Jesse's house. And the Bible says that Jesse does what's typical. He brings out the best from the outward experience. And he brings out Eliab. And he comes out. And now, remember, who is Samuel? He's a prophet.
He's a prophet.
Now remember, we're talking about prophets. He's a prophet. He's the mouthpiece of God. He's the vessel of God. The first one that comes out, he says, surely the Lord's anointed is before me. How did the prophet get it wrong? Then here comes Abinadab and Shammah and the rest of them. And I started thinking about that. How does the prophet, how does the man of God, how does the person that God has ordained and used to usher in this next level of anointing, how does he get it wrong? And now it makes sense, because he was still looking for Saul. He was in the right place at the right time, talking to the right bloodline, but he still had Saul on the brain.
Wow.
When you got the wrong thing on the brain, you can be in the right place at the right time.
Wow.
But never see what's in front of you.
Ooh-wee.
You got to take off them Saul glasses.
Take off the Saul glasses.
Open to something. When you got Egypt on the mind, when you got Saul on the mind, when you got Orpah looking back to Moab, what happens is that we are so hypnotized almost by our own misguided priorities that we can be in the right place and miss the blessing that's right in front of us.
Wow.
Maybe because it didn't look like the way you thought it was going to.
Oh, help us, Jesus.
What have you missed? Because it didn't come in the package that you thought was going to help.
Right.
The truth is, as long as you've been picking your package, it's been messing you up.
Right.
I don't want you to put your business
Ooh,
out
help
there.
us, sir.
Don't put your business out there, but just wink at me. But if you got a history of choosing wrong, just wink at me. Everybody at the same time was going to do it. I thought it was like 2 or 3. Everybody? I'm wink too.
Look.
You got a history.
My.
You know what the biggest, and we're going to get to point number 2, but you know what the biggest and most demonic relationship advices that you can get out there?
Help us.
Is this. Follow your heart.
Come on. Your heart is desperately wicked.
So one of the worst things
Deceitful above all things.
Is follow your heart. You know why? Because in the book of Jeremiah it says the heart is desperately wicked. That is deceitful. Which means that when they tell you to follow your heart, what they're telling you is make decisions based on something that is always about itself, not the will of God. So as long as you start choosing, as long as you continue choosing based on your heart, you're going to always be looking back to Egypt. You're going to always be looking at Saul. You're going to always be looking back to Moab. What Ruth demonstrates for us in Ruth chapter 1 is godly priorities.
Yes.
And you know what godly priorities say? I don't know how God is going to do this. I don't know who God is going to send. I don't know how we're going to survive this.
Right.
I don't know what the future holds. But I do know this. I cannot abandon my purpose.
Come on.
For a pursuit in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Don't abandon your purpose.
Don't abandon your purpose. In your single. Ooh, don't abandon your purpose.
Get impatient with God.
Ooh wee.
And pick up something that you should not have your hands on.
My.
That's the wrong person. Look at somebody else and tell them, don't pick it up.
Don't pick it up. Put that down. Don't pick it up.
This enough. Your singleness is not a curse.
Say it again.
It is an opportunity for God to do something with your perspective.
Yes.
You know what? I don't know about you because I'm a single pastor. I would rather wait on God.
Yes.
And wait than pick up something that's going to jack me up.
Right.
In the future. Lord, have anybody been jacked up before?
Oh, yes, sir. He said wink. Don't wait. Don't raise your hands. Wink.
Anybody been jacked up before? Because you picked the wrong thing.
Yes, sir.
It came with the right package. It had an outward pulchritude. It had all the things. And then you started unwrapping that package. Figuratively, not literally.
Amen.
And you found out that the wrapping paper.
It was shiny and pretty. Ooh wee. Ooh.
That's what the enemy does. That's why he says it comes as an angel of light.
Check that package.
Your attention with what's on the outside.
My.
Until you get the revelation of what's on the inside. And by the time you get that revelation, you already in. And ain't nothing wrong, ain't nothing like, I should say, falling in love with the devil.
Ooh. Oh, Jesus.
Damn, I mean, y'all don't give it away. Just look straight ahead. Look down and just let me know. You. We've all been there.
Amen.
Priorities. You got to have the right priorities as a single so that when God begins to move you to wherever he's moving you to, you don't compromise your purpose. So many people are so desperate for something that they're willing to compromise purpose and compromise their standard. Number 2, write this one down. Ruth said, I ain't leaving. Don't write that down. Just talk to me. I ain't leaving. I'm right here with you. I shared this in the car coming up, and I'm going to move on, but I just thought about this. You know, according to popular Hebrew history, by historians and those of the Jewish ethnic background, and this is amazing when you think about this, that according to, again, Jewish history, that when Orpah made her way back to Moab, that she encountered a battalion of soldiers and was raped by an entire battalion.
What you say?
And the seed that was produced was the line of the giants of Anak.
Gotcha.
You know who that is?
Goliath. Yes.
So according to popular Hebrew history, it was from the line of Orpah that came Goliath.
Wow.
Well, who came from the line of Ruth?
Right, David.
So their purposes intersected. Later in this, what you produce, whether you're in the will or out of the will.
Ooh, Jesus.
You gotta be careful because Lord.
Help us, God.
That's a whole other Bible study, right?
We only want to produce what's in His will.
So think about that.
Ooh, Jesus.
Her decision produced the wrong thing. Her decision produced the right thing. And it became an absolute antagonist. Look at the decision. This decision produced this. They meet here. And now David, to get to the next place, has to defeat that line. Lord have mercy. Number 2.
Yes, sir.
I'll be preaching it at 10 o'clock in the morning. Number 2, right passion. Where singles slip. Oh, this is going to be a rough one.
Y'all can make y'all's donations at danatyler.me. Go on and send a donation.
They may get us to leave right now. They may say, I'm done with him. He's the worst. Passion. Somebody go to Judges 16. Judges, chapter 16. And as you're going there, I want you to write this down at this point. Be careful who or what you give access to. Now, notice, not just what you pick up.
Right.
But be careful who or what you give access to. Judges chapter 16, verse 16. Once you get that, somebody read it out loud.
And it came to pass, when she pressed him daily.
Listen, you don't read it like
You
that.
better read that word, Prophetess Long.
Yes, ma'am. When she pressed him daily, when she pressed him daily, she was after something.
Okay, tell me read.
Judges 16 and 16. Read.
With her words, she pressed him daily with her words, and urged him, so that his soul was vexed unto death.
Keep going, keep going.
That he told her all of his heart, and said unto her, there hath not come a razor upon my head, for I have been a Nazarite unto God from my mother's womb. If I be shaven, then my strength will go from me.
Okay, listen. I'm going to condense the story of Samson into a nutshell. Samson is birthed with purpose. He's a Nazarite. He has been raised up as a judge. Judges were local heroes that as the children of Israel would fall into apostasy, they would do things against the will of God. God would allow them to be oppressed by enemy nations to teach them a lesson. He would raise up these judges, judges like Gideon, Samson, Obadiah, Deborah, Shamgar. He would raise up these individuals that would free them from this oppression, and then they would do what we do. Go right back and doing the same thing and have to learn the lesson over and over and over. Samson is a unique character because his ability is strength. He's a warrior, he's a fighter. But his issue is he has undisciplined passion.
Wow.
His issue is he is extremely gifted, but he has undisciplined passion.
Wow.
I'll say it again. He's extremely gifted, he's anointed. The hand of God is upon his life. He is a called individual,
Yes.
but he cannot handle his passion.
Wow.
He is gifted, called, anointed, got strength. Power of God is on him. He has done some remarkable things, but he can't handle his fleshly desires.
Help us.
His biggest issue are not haters. His biggest issue are not the Philistines. His biggest issues are not the Amalekites. His biggest issue is himself. Because with all of his gifts, he cannot seem to get some act right.
Get some act right.
He can't get it. He can't get it. Every time he sees something that looks good to him, he forgets all about purpose. And he goes 100, y'all ain't gonna say nothing.
Yes, sir.
He goes 100 miles an hour toward the thing that gets his attention.
Wow.
He's gifted, he's anointed, he's got purpose, he's got the hand of God in his life, he's a judge, he's the one that God has raised up, he comes from a godly home. He's got all the advantages that we would think we would need to have. And yet, his passion gets him into trouble. His dating life has been jacked up.
Come on.
He sees a young woman that he knows he shouldn't have, his family knows he shouldn't have, his mother and father say, man, listen, you can't do that. He says, I don't care what you say, get her for me. Ends up getting into a whole dramatic situation. She ends up losing her life, and her father ends up losing his life. All because he can't get his passion together. All of a sudden now we read in the story, when you read the context of the scripture, we find out that Delilah, who presents herself as interesting, as wonderful, as beautiful, and all these different things, we find out in further examination of the text that Delilah is an agent of the enemy.
Right.
She has been employed, sent on assignment to distract him and get his secret. Y'all didn't see it, y'all missed it, I'm going to say it again. The enemy knows that he has a passion issue.
Yes.
The enemy understands he can't control himself. So it don't matter how many breakthroughs he gets, no matter how wonderful church he is, it doesn't matter how great all
If you don't preach,
he just
sir.
danced, he just hollered, he just did all that stuff. What we're going to do is right after the church service, send Delilah. Delilah, I need you to do one thing and one thing only. Break him down. Find the secret. Now understand the spirit of Delilah is not just a female.
Right. Come on now.
Because it is a scent agitator. Because her weapon of choice was to keep on coming back. That's what the enemy does. He wears you down. He keeps on coming back. He keeps presenting over and over. You know what Samson's issue was? He overestimated his own strength.
Yes. Yes. Your strength.
He overestimated his own strength. In other words, he kept flirting with the wrong thing because he thought he could handle it.
Ooh.
He was like, I'm Samson. I'm strong. I know they ain't saved. I know they halfway in, halfway out. But listen, I've been running with Jesus a long time.
Help us, help us.
9 times, yes. He started thinking about how gifted he was. And the more he allowed access, the more she wore him down. Because his passion was undisciplined, she was dulling his spiritual senses.
Yes.
He didn't have a lot to begin with.
Right.
I said this not too long ago. It's always much easier to pull somebody down than
to lift them up. Yep.
Can I tell you this? And I want you to write this down. You may not want to write it halfway into it because you're going to be like, whatever. But be obedient, write this down. Yes. Stop dating to save people.
Say it again, sir.
Y'all better write that down now. Stop dating to save folk. Listen. If you want to get them saved, bring them to church.
Bring them to church.
Let the Lord do this.
And let the Lord do it.
You do this. Stop talking about, well, I'm evangelizing.
Oh!
I'm to help them. You ain't strong enough.
Ooh-wee.
I hear it all the time. Listen, I have a church and we're blessed. We have a large portion. We have 85% millennials.
Oh my, that's a lot. Yes.
We write about 1,000 people in our main location. Almost all of them, I done heard it all. I'm 36, so I'm not old.
Right.
But all millennials. And it is, no, Pastor. No, he believes in Allah. But he's coming with me because I just see the Lord doing a work in me. Every time, let him go. Let the Lord work on me.
Yes, sir.
But because when you talk about being unequally yoked, it's not just the other person.
Right.
But it's because you have a passion issue.
Ooh.
Every one of us have a passion issue. And if we're not careful, we will fall victim to a Delilah spirit. And that Delilah spirit has one thing on its mind.
Wear you down.
Out of the will of God. Delilah was employed by the enemy.
Specifically.
She was employed to lay in the bed with her. And you know what Samson did? He overestimated and he allowed her to get on his nerves. To agitate, to frustrate, to have access to things she shouldn't. Let me just throw this out here for free too. Stop telling all your business to people.
Amen.
That's a free. I'm not even charge you. Write that down.
Write it down.
You talk too much.
We talk too much.
You put things out in the atmosphere and allow people to use it against you. You know, I told my daughter this because, you know, my daughter's 15 and, you know, at 15 years old, everything is drama. Somebody, you know, she's walking in the hall at school. Her best friend from 3 days now. She's got a 3-day best friend. So like the whole day is gone. I mean, I'm like, man, listen, I can't because she's a 15-year-old little girl. You know, she's the daddy's girl. But she walked in the hall and the little girl don't speak to her and she's just like, oh, can you pick me up? And I'm like, and I tell her, don't be surprised when you show everybody your cards and they play you.
Wow.
You can't be so desirous of friends that you give them access and ammo to use it against you. You gotta operate with wisdom. You know what? She's 15, but we do it still as adults.
Yes.
Is that sometimes as singles, to counteract our desire for a relationship, we surround ourselves with people. We go out in groups, and there's nothing wrong with that. But be careful about what you are saying to people, what you are voicing to people, because the enemy knows how to use people. I told you, the area of warfare is in your relationships. He knows how to use people to bring things against you. What did it cost Samson? What it always cost us. Vision, his eyes were plucked out,
Right.
and power, his hair was cut. When you have undisciplined passion, it'll cost you two things.
Wow.
Your vision
And your power.
and your strength.
Ooh-wee.
Can I say it again? When you have undisciplined passion, it will cost you vision, perspective, and power,
Yes.
strength. It didn't matter how gifted and anointed Samson was. He didn't have discipline. Well, Pastor Tim, how did you get discipline? You got to set parameters. Every single person ought to have some parameters. What are your parameters based on? What gets you every time? What gets you every time? Don't say it out loud. What gets you every time? What is that area of passion that jacks you up every time? Samson could not capitalize. He could not overcome his undisciplined nature. That's why, this session is in the top 10 list on how to get you a boo. Top 10 list on how to get you a man. That's the worst thing for you right now.
Right.
You need to check your passion. Because you can follow some steps and get a man and get jacked up.
Yes.
What you say?
She's sitting
What
on
you
the
gotta
front row.
deal is with that passion. You got to learn how to plead to purpose, like with Ruth. You got to learn how to check some things. You got to find out, why do I keep connecting with Delilah? Why do I keep connecting with the wrong thing? What is it inside of me that has not been sanctified, that has not been washed, that has not been covered, that I keep going back to the Egyptians?
Oh.
Ask your neighbor real quick. Ask him, why you keep going back to that?
Why you keep going back to that?
Listen, don't sit next to that neighbor no more. They ain't said that the whole session. Ask somebody else, why you keep going back to that? Real quick, what was the first one?
Priorities.
Priorities. RelationSLIPS. Priorities. What was our focus scripture?
Ruth 1 and 6.
Number 2, what was the next one? What was the focus scripture?
Judges 16,
Number
16.
3, and this is going to be one that's going to be a little difficult, but we got to deal with it. I'm from Kentucky, so I get to fly home. I'm gonna drop this on you. Number 3, positioning. Key to RelationSLIPS. Positioning. Prophet, let's go to the second Samuel chapter 11.
Are you saying positioning?
Positioning. I'm sorry, I said that. Midwestern country drawl. Positioning. Right under positioning, right? Tame your temptation. 2 Samuel chapter 11. Just read the first 2 verses.
And it came to pass,
Oh my.
after the year was, that David sent Joab and his servants with him, and all of Israel, and they destroyed the children of Ammon, and besieged Rabbah. But David tarried still.
Stop. That's the mistake right there. Now we're gonna deal with
Prophet
this
as long
sin
as
that
reading
she-
that word, ain't she?
But the key to his issue in this text was that he was not where he was supposed to be. The key to the whole issue with Bathsheba was not Bathsheba's beauty.
Come on.
It was the fact that he was out of position as the king. He should
Apostle
have been
just
back.
preached that.
As
Apostle
the king,
just taught that.
he should have been where the soldiers were, where the fighting was. He was the king. But instead of being where he was supposed to be, he tarried in the wrong place. Oh, y'all missed that. Instead of being where he was supposed to be, he got caught up in a place too long that he shouldn't have been at that particular juncture of his life. And anytime you allow your position to be compromised, temptation's effect becomes much greater.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say it again. Anytime you allow your position to, and I'm gonna be very practical in a minute, so y'all don't get funny on me. I'm just gonna say what I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna deal with it, and then y'all might have to usher me out of here. Anytime you allow your positioning to be compromised with people, with places, with circumstances, you do know there's some places you don't need to be.
Yes, sir.
There's some things that you don't need to be engaged in.
Ooh, don't touch it.
Can I be very transparent?
Yeah.
I'm a single pastor. The Lord is blessed, very successful. I thank God for it. No bragging. God is good.
Amen.
I realized as a single man, as anointed as I know the Lord has done with me, given me, after a certain point at night, I can't listen to certain things.
I know it's right.
I ain't gonna say that. Maybe they
Come on, sir. No, sir.
Like,
Talk.
It's a lot of younger folk in here, but y'all heard of Al Green?
Yes, sir. I'm so in love with you.
I have to be very careful.
Yes, sir.
Talk about those two, flesh and spirit.
Yes.
I have to be cognizant of where I am, what I'm doing, and what I'm giving access to. Because positioning is critical.
Yes, sir.
There are certain types of individuals that I can't hang with. There are certain places I have no business going. Because when I'm in the wrong place, when I'm in the wrong position, the likelihood of being overcome, or as James says in 1:14, being drawn away
from your own lust.
by my own lust and desire rises exponentially.
I love
1
that.
Corinthians 10:13. For there hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful.
God is
who will not
faithful.
suffer you to be tempted above which ye are able.
Right.
But will with that temptation make a way for you to escape, that you may be able to bear it.
Take
In
it.
other
Take the
words,
way. Take the way.
In temptation,
Whew.
when you're in the wrong position and your eyes are closed, you can miss your exit. Thought that would go a little better.
Come on. Come on.
I'm gonna say it again. Thank you.
Yes. Look.
That was like a sacrificial. Yes. And when I'm in the wrong position, because here's the thing, I want to make sure I put this, and I'm gonna hit David here in a second. All of us are tempted.
Yes.
Temptation is not a sin.
Right.
Jesus was tempted.
Right.
It's what
What you do with
the
it.
temptation that determines what happens next. What he says in 1 Corinthians 10:13 is that in temptation, he provides a way of escape.
Yes.
But when you're so far out of position, many times we don't discern our exit.
Come on.
We so far in. Listen, David was out of position. You know what happens? He says, I'm going to take a stroll on the deck. Now you understand the palace was in an elevated position overlooking the kingdom. He had access to see everything. By the positioning of the homes and the structures, he could look down and see from an elevated position. He comes out one night. It's a nice night, beautiful night. He's out and he sees what entices him. In that moment, he has a decision to make.
Right.
Either, although I'm in the wrong position, I turn around
And just go to
Go back
bed.
in.
Go to bed.
or
Take a
I
nap.
start a salacious, evil plan to feel my desire. You know what's interesting about the story of Bathsheba is that David has to plan
My.
to make it happen. Anybody ever been guilty of premeditated sin?
Ooh, wink. Oh, we wink. Wink. Put your hands down. Just wink. Just wink. Put your hands down. Y'all put some wink.
Listen, I grew up in church. I grew up in church. That's not always me, but I grew up in church. And let's just be completely honest. Let's be completely real. Because there were times where, and again, church wasn't always me. I grew up in church. I've been around church all my life. But there were times where I was in church planning what was going to happen after.
Come on, sir.
Everybody been there before?
Come on, sir.
Listen.
We winking. We winking. Don't raise your hands. Wink.
Y'all let the brother go out there by himself.
President stated, or give a handshake, I know they living and breathing. So I know if you live
Well, listen, we're going to listen. We gonna let you just chill because we done got like 4 people that just look at you like, I don't know. To my brother's point, all of us, because that's word. As we move forward and we're tempted, we all have a decision to make in the midst of that temptation. David is on the patio, he sees Bathsheba, and he launches a plan to fill his desire. The issue that David does not understand is that when you're out of position, he's the king. Remember, David is a man after God's own heart. Notice that everybody we've used from a biblical reference today, these are not heathens. These are people whose God's hand is on.
Yes.
These are church folk.
Yes. Yeah.
These ain't folk that's unsaved. We're talking about these are folk that know the Lord, who have walked with the Lord, who have been around the right thing, and yet they come to a decision, a critical juncture in their life where they have one decision to make. Either they'll stay in position, either they'll move with God, or they'll do the opposite thing. David, with all of his gifts, with all of his abilities, with all of his kingly authority, he moves in a way that he should not move. Let me make sure you put this down. Make sure you write this part down right here. That correct positioning will save your spiritual life.
Yes.
Write this under that. Write this under that. Correct positioning can save you a lot of heartache.
Yes.
Because not only does David's incorrect position affect him, but it affects Bathsheba. Uriah loses his life. A baby is birthed that loses its life.
Dies, yeah.
And that is the context of Psalm 51.
Right.
Creating me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. I have sinned against you and you only.
Yes.
As a single, what you got to realize is that when your position is off, and when I mean position, let me make sure I break that down. Positioning is when you decide willfully to occupy places that you know you shouldn't be in.
Retro.
Remember, when we talk about being single, this is not about a top 10 list to get somebody. It's about reviewing what are my histrionics. What do I do? And why do I do what I do? And is what I'm doing leading me to the same results over and over? What issue in me do I need God to help me correct? Do I have a propensity to always be out of position? Do I have a tendency to be ruled by my desires? Do I have a priority problem? Do I value the wrong things over the right things? What is it that the enemy so readily uses against me during this time of singleness? Because as I mentioned before, Paul says, my desire is that you all be single just like me. We often misquote that, misunderstand that, and don't get it. Paul is not speaking against marriage.
Right.
He's not talking negatively against marriage.
Right.
He's saying for the time that you're single,
Right.
you got to have the right frame of mind. And in your singleness, he makes no apology. Because again, he endorses marriage. Paul's the same one that wrote that husbands honor your wives as Christ honors the church.
Right.
You know what I found out when he wrote that? That's it's not when he talks about women submitting to your husband, that is not a dictatorship. He wasn't
Right.
Dictatorship.
Right.
He understands that a real woman of God has no problem submitting to a real man.
I know it's right. Say it again,
But he
sir.
never told you to submit to a worldly man.
Right.
That's a whole other situation. I'm gonna let that go. But he says, honor. Then he goes and he says, but I wish you were single like me, because he says, in my singleness, this is the time for me not to get my groove back. That's what he's saying. He's saying, I have an
maximize
opportunity
purpose.
to do
Yes.
what others can't do.
Yes.
And that is concentrate on my relationship with God and my purpose.
Yes.
So the opportunity in your singleness should not be to do mingling, Christian mingling. I mean, if you won't do that, it's on you. But the truth of the matter is, in your singleness, this is an opportunity for you to strengthen your relationship with God.
Yes.
In your singleness, this is a time for you to grow.
Yes.
For you to know who you are. Because you'll never know who you are outside of a relationship with God. It don't matter where you move. It don't matter what you change. Until you know who God is, you'll never know who you are.
Come on.
Right.
That's what it is to be single. Those are the relationship slips. I think I'm out of time. But just know